Hi, everybody. It's Jon Batiste here at Steinway Hall with the great Tori Kelly.
Hello.
You see, we rolling. I'm so glad you're here.
I'm glad to be here.
I love your music and your vision of your music. It tells the story of who you are.
Thank you so much.
How do
That
you
means a lot.
how do you get inspired to make records? Because all of your records have a thread that's kind of pulling from your narrative.
Yeah, I write from life experiences really, and life is crazy. Everyone has their own story, and there's always things that are happening and curveballs and stuff. But there was a season of my life that I struggled with writing and just trying to figure out like, okay, what part of my story do I tell? And I would just overthink it. And so I think, especially with my latest album that came out, I think I finally kind of reached a place where I was like, I'm just gonna literally write about what's happened, and if people get it, then they get it. If they don't, then at least it's still my story, and I'm just kind of pouring my whole self into my songs.
Is that scary?
Yes. Yeah. It's scary.
People the truth is hard sometimes.
Yeah, it's scary at first. I think like in the writing process is scary, but then in that same process there comes a time where I noticed I would feel like really free. Like it was kind of liberating, because almost like a form of therapy in a way, where it's like it's weird to talk about at first, but then once you get it out, it's like, okay, this happened, it is what it is. And I think the hope is that by me, being vulnerable and honest in my music, that maybe somebody else could be inspired by that, or relate to it. Or
that's what happened to me too.
Yeah, which is wild. But yeah, it's still wild to me that we can have a connection through music, and people can relate to songs. That still trips me out, but it's amazing.
Everybody around the world has a song that they can remember being the soundtrack to a moment, or like something happening in their life, and they had a song to get them through it.
Yeah.
It's crazy to write a song though about a person. How would you advise songwriters to take something that happened to them? Say they were on a bus, and they want to write a song, and they don't want it to be mundane. Just like, I was on the bus today. I drunk a Coca-Cola. How would you make it?
How would you make it feel like special?
Yeah,
unique?
what's your secret sauce in that?
Man, I think there is kind of like a balance of like making it be super real and super honest, but then kind of adding elements that just make it exciting, I guess. So it's still real, and it still happened, but how do you word it in a way that kind of is ear catching, kind of makes people perk up and be like, oh, I've heard that sentiment before, but I've never heard it in that way.
Yeah.
So, because if you're singing about stuff like love, for example, it's like there's so many love songs. Like, how do you make that sound
large catalog
different, But it's like everyone's felt love, I think, before. So it's like, how do you take that emotion that's so universal and then kind of like just make it, I don't know, present it in a way that's more interesting.
Yeah, it's like it's people who have unique slang. They say stuff and it's like, wow, what did you just say? That's dope.
Yeah, exactly.
Or just finding different analogies. I like that in your music too. Lyrically, you find ways of saying stuff with analogy. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
You have language and you have music, and you put it together in your own way. Did that start with the music first, or did it start with the poetry? Like, what was the impetus?
Oh, it's really all over the place. There's never one set way. I wish I had more of like a structure when I write songs, but I'm so scatterbrained. I have in my phone, I have just a bunch of voice memos. I have like random. It could be just song title written out, or a whole poem that never becomes a song, but I'll take lines from it, So I think the way I write is like, I try not to force anything. So if I'm, walking down the street, I get a random melody. It's like, okay, da 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 da, and then maybe months later, I'll go back to that melody and be like, oh, this melody fits with this random line, and that kind of makes me feel this way. And I'll probably write like 5 songs at a time, rather than, at least that's my preferred way to write, rather than sit down and be like, let's write a song. And like, there's a little more pressure in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I prefer to sort of just let the song kind of happen. And so I tend to have, like a few different songs that are just like unfinished for a while. And then they kind of like slowly get there.
Yeah, you one of those.
I'm one of those. Yeah, it's annoying to me sometimes because I wish I could just like, and I'll have
write
times.
a song
yeah,
today,
like
and then you sit down and just start to finish. Some people.
But that's where like co-writes help me a lot because if
Oh,
I'm working with someone else, then it's like you both kind of want to get a song at the end of the day or however long it takes. But so that's good because it stretches me in that way. But if I'm by myself, I really take my time.
Yeah, to get it right and make sure it. I like that you said you can find another piece of the song at a whole nother time.
Yeah, and it's like a light bulb comes on. I'm like, oh, that literally goes with, okay, yeah, and like my brain does the whole thing.
It's a subconscious probably just continuously working, putting it together when you sleep, you know, you're doing another song.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Do you listen, what are you listening to get inspiration? Or do you listen to stuff or do you avoid that because it informs what you're writing too much? Some people are like, I don't want to hear that.
Yeah, you know what? I find that and I don't do it on purpose, but I don't really listen to a lot of music when I'm in writing mode. Maybe it's just because I'm so like in the zone with my own music, or maybe I fear that it'll influence it too much or something, but or I'll start to overthink, you know, like, oh, this isn't what is like current right now or something. But once the album is like, you know, kind of finished and I'm out of that writing zone, then I'm able to, you know, I like listening to just new stuff, like try to discover new artists and stuff. So try to. I'm not always good at it, but yeah. Try to stay on top.
What you checking out right now?
Right now, I can't even say that this artist is super new, but I like Alec Benjamin. I really love his writing style. Gosh, who else? I'm trying to think of what's on my Spotify playlists right now. I got to see Alec Benjamin live, and he's killer. I think his style is just really unique too. Yeah, I'll stick with him for now because I'm blanking on.
No, that's a good one. Yeah. I love Alec. I like that.
Shout-outs.
I like that you try to discover new artists.
Yeah,
that's a beautiful thing.
I think I'm just a fan of music, so like new stuff just excites me. I think, and just I get inspired by just a lot of different things.
Whoa, shucks, whoa. You inspiring to me. I want to play some music.
Same. You're
let's play some music.
Let's
Let's make something happen.
Let's do it.
Yeah.